Hello, hi, and welcome to X Team Live event. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm your host, Anna, and today is a special day for you to be ready to get that dream job. With help of our amazing star recruiters, we will evaluate your resumes live. So you can send the resume to this email, gaps.vega.xteam.com, and you can share your data, or if you decide, you can completely scratch your name, all the information, and we just evaluate the information inside the CV to see where can we help you to get to that next level. And today is really special because we are joining not one, not two, but three-star recruiters. And let's give our warmest welcome to Gabs.
Hello, world. I'm Gabs, as you might know, or perhaps not, but yeah, I'm a tech recruiter at X Team, and I'm excited to meet you all and see your profiles.
Yeah. And just a little bit quick info about you. So, how long you've been in recruiting, and how long you've been here in Next Team?
So I think it's been 3 years since I ever started in recruitment, but it was like a mixture of experiences and actually over 3 years because I've been here at X Team for what, a year, and so we are 27, not to be precise who's doing the math, but it's been a year and a couple of months. So yeah, I cannot do the math, but 1 year and a
That
couple of months.
the math is that mathing,
Yeah, my
and
brain just freeze.
which is normal, and that can happen to you in the interview. So we're all human. Just embrace it. And the biggest surprise of today event
Prepare for
is
trouble and make it double.
hello.
Hello there.
Oli.
How are you people? How the rest of the LinkedIn universe? Or where else we are? YouTube universe as well?
We
We
have
are in all
interviews.
like
Nice, nice. So, well, guys, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Whatever from the world you're joining, thank you for joining. This will be a very special session. Here's
Jyoti.
Yoti. He's
I'm currently the VP of Talent, handling the recruitment efforts here on X Team. Here with my senior recruiter, Oski, with my great technical recruiter, Gaps. And our beautiful host, Anna. So, yeah, I'm here to help you guys out with anything that you need. Please start sending your comments, anything that you want to ask us, please do it. But yeah, the idea is to help you guys, give you some nice hints to boost your resumes or profiles.
and
Awesome.
actually they're coming in hot, let me tell you, because I think I already got 3 CVs, so people are excited and so are we.
Yay.
fantastic, fantastic. So yeah, so the main idea of this exercise we're doing is just to take a look at your profiles, how to make them better, look them better in front of any kind of client, customer you would like to apply in a position. So whether it's here at X Team, that would be perfect. But if not, for other companies that maybe you would like to apply, that will be the best advice to you, so we can improve it and make it better. So all yours.
All yours. Awesome. And of course, just to mention that in altogether, there's more than 20 years of experience in recruitment. So it's really worth to try it and to use this opportunity to enhance your resume. Maybe you've been sending your resume and didn't get the feedback that you wanted. Maybe you got the recruitment right into you, but it's never the job that you want, and you kind of cannot guess why is that. Maybe you're in process of changing a little bit. Maybe you're a back-end developer, but now you're more into full stack or maybe even front end, and you know how to make this move and how to reflect that. So there's so many things that we can help you with. And also, if you have some questions or if you want us to evaluate your LinkedIn profile, you can just raise your hand and say, me, and we can help you also with your LinkedIn profile. So
That's
if
true.
Gabs is ready to share some of the profiles that people already been sending for us to start to begin.
And
Yep,
if
yep.
you have any questions, whatever question you have, just let us know into the chat so we can, try to answer to you as soon as we have the chance. But any kind of questions related to, I don't know, how to apply to a position or where to apply, whatever you want to feel or share, please go ahead and do it. So the chat is yours. So go ahead.
This is your moment, actually. Like, take full an advantage. You have super seniors Saitama Sensei here and Oski, who's the master of complex roles. In all honesty, like
We're
he's the
trying to do
master.
our best. We're trying to do our best. So,
Okay.
so guys, whenever you're ready, just
Okay.
share, and we are here.
Let me tell you guys that you are sharing your CVs like it's popping. So it might take me a second to share them with Anya, but do not worry. We're going to do our best here to try and cover everything. It's exciting to see that you're all looking forward to see how your CV looks like and what tips we can help you out with. So
Almost there. Almost there. I'm opening the first CV. So
this is
we're
exciting. Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, so while that, well, the first resume that we're going to take a look is, where in the works behind that, I see that Jose Fernandez is asking questions. So, what do you think is the most important part of CV? So, dear VP, what do you think?
So for me, the most important part is when you're creating your resume, your profile, is to put in the shoes of the recruiter. Think as a recruiter. How would you like to? How would you find yourself?
Like to be seen,
Yeah.
like a recruiter,
And
yeah.
you have to understand that all the search engines, all the sourcing platforms, they work with keywords. That's the most important part. I have seen and I have done a lot of profile reviews, and you can. And I remember, for example, one time when I had an iOS engineer, specialized in Swift, and I told him, do a Control F, Command F, and put Swift, and tell me how many times
You see it.
you see it. Zero.
Zero.
And he was like, "Oop."
Man, you're right. That's what
So
he said.
it's literally like that.
That
So
was
keep in
swift.
mind that if you are a Swift, if you're a ServiceNow, if you're a Golang, try to make sure that that keyword and all the technical skills that you have appear many times as keywords. The more information you give, the better we will find you, the faster we will find you, and that will give us a lot of tools and a lot of reasons to reach you out.
True. Yeah. In addition to
so
what
true.
you said, is that certainly. I mean, that's very important to show there. A lot of times to show maybe the specific tech stack maybe you're applying to is good because for us, let's say, and just give you an example, Jose. If maybe you're trying to look for, I don't know, a React developer. I mean, how many times is React showing to the screen? I know that it's always good to say, and also what is it important. I before I forget what I want to say is that make sure to add in your profile that the name tasks you were doing into your role. It's not like I was doing A, B, C, D, but at least not try to explain the things you were doing. This is very helpful when our partners are looking because they will see like, okay, so he actually is very good trying to do this kind of things on the tasks we're looking for. Besides the keywords are very important. So that's what I would say about it.
I would like to add something to that, specifically for like to be more specific with your experience in a project or your involvement in a project, because sometimes perhaps the project of course involves the front end and the back end, but your expertise it's more towards the back end. It's good to that you give a description of the project scope, but be honest with your expertise there, like what did you do actually. So if you were more focused on the back end, make sure that you highlight that so that we understand the type of roles you're interested in, and you're not approached for a full stack role, for example.
And there's one
There's
more.
so many things, and I love that we're already sharing. People are already liking the tips that will be given. I'm sharing already the first profile that we have here, and let's hear your thoughts. If there's something needs to be added, maybe something needs to be removed. It was in a PDF file, so we're all good here. starting strong.
Yeah, that is actually important. Make sure that your CV, if you're sending it out, it doesn't matter through what platform. It's always like a PDF and not a Google Docs or Word document, because that surely helps out. Also for people who do sourcing, it's easier. It's easier that the engine that they're using can find your CV if it is in PDF.
Cool, perfect. So let's start then with
Aurelio.
the first candidate. So in this case, I think it's Aurelio is the one that's sharing the resume. If you want to connect with him, all the community, if you want to connect with him, please be more than welcome to connect with him. That's his LinkedIn address. So let's see. So, in this is my view. Maybe Jyoti has a different view, or maybe Gaps have a different view, but maybe we'll get into the same point at the end of this exercise. So, the first thing I see here is that I see a lot of software engineer, but then you gotta try to make sure what kind of software engineer you are. Are you a full stack engineer? Are you a back-end engineer? Just try to mention I see that you're showing React. So I'm assuming then you're moving towards front end. So in this case, just try to make sure that you're leaning towards to that specific role you're looking for. So let's say you're applying to I don't know, a front end position. So just try to make sure that you show there into your profile more things related to front end. I see anyways on the tasks you were mentioning, and actually that's really good. That's something you need to follow, guys. If you don't have, it's a good example. If you don't have anything like this, just try to mimic what Aurelio has. So it's really good. But in this case, I would say, and maybe on the summary, try to mention that you are leaning towards two of front end positions. Now, if you feel yourself that you would like to work at a full stack, you just try to mention it. But if I see just like a first glimpse, I would say you're moving. You need to add a little bit more things related to front end. I don't know, Jyoti, if you have any.
Yeah, totally. Just as Oski said, and just to summarize it, avoid generalized terms and make it more specific. Software engineer, and if you want to make it React engineer, software engineer in parentheses React, but try to go automatically on the specifics. Usually, there's a statistics that says that recruiters usually take from 10 to 20 seconds to review or to try to get attracted to the resume, to be able to see what they want, what they need to see. If you don't have it right away on the description or on the summary, etc., automatically you will lose the attention of the recruiter. So keep that in mind. Be specific. Just as Oski said, software engineer, in your case, React, Vue. So probably you're a front-end engineer, JavaScript, React, Vue engineer. Make it specific.
That's correct. So I don't know, Gaps.
I was gonna say that like this is technically your business card, so make sure that you are highlighting the shiny stars that you would like recruiters to see, and that it will catch the attention, or it will link what they see to the role that you are trying to get, or that is of your interest. So it's pretty much to summarize what you already said.
So thank you, Aurelio, for showing
Yeah.
us your resume. I hope that, I mean, it's not that very extensive, but at least we gave you some hints to make your profile better. As a matter of fact, it's really good what you're showing here, and the tasks I was saying. You just try to make sure that you're showing what you're doing. But I hope that it had helped you to improve your resume. So thank you for sharing.
And to
I
comment on
would
the
just
positive-
love to, sorry, I would just like to add, especially since you mentioned that you have 20 seconds to review your resume. For example, you can put like tech stack like summary about you, and then a tech stack, like a key points, and that will
Yeah.
draw my attention right away. So I will see right away that you work with React, that
That
you
will
work
make you
with
keep
Vue.
scrolling.
Yeah,
That will make you keep scrolling and keep reading. That's
yeah,
the thing. That's what
yeah.
you have to accomplish when a recruiter.
Yes.
So the key from for you is to add, for example, software engineer, just like brackets, React developer, front end developer, like adding more information for the recruiter. Because if you're applying for a React role, and the recruiter is still like has to look, where's the React? Did he actually work with React? That takes time, and unfortunately, you can miss that opportunity. So great points, and I think you have something to work on and enhance, and we can move on to the next one.
I wanted just to comment, like, and it could be generalized. Something that is always great and important is that you, throughout your experience, when you're describing what you did, or yeah, your role in that project, is to include the tech stack. I have seen some CVs or profiles that they do not particularly um, include a tech stack. So make sure, because as we were saying, that's the first thing that we, like, our eyes are going to skim through, and it's important that you highlight those.
There is
Okay.
A very
a
interesting question.
very interesting question from Rolando. I would like to take a little bit of time
Answer that one.
to answer that. Um,
So let's read the question first. So the
Yeah,
question is,
it
would
is.
you recommend me that I have worked in multiple roles, such as, there you go, such as a front end, full stack, mobile, database development, project leader. So I feel the question is like, uh, we don't take a look to the whole thing because I mean he has been in some other things. So what do you think about it?
It's a tough and interesting question. Rolando,
Sure.
what I can tell you is that you have to keep in mind that every single recruiter from different companies, agencies, they will have a specific role in mind with a specific tech stack in mind needed. So, company or recruiter A can be looking. Let's go with Aurelio's example that we saw a couple of minutes ago. One recruiter might be looking for a generalist front end. Another one can be just on React. Another one might be looking for just Vue, and that person, that recruiter, will see how many years on or where what projects you used Vue. And if, let's say, for that specific role, the role requires 5 years on Vue, but you only had 3 on Vue, but 5 on React, unfortunately, for this recruiter, you won't work, because that's the ugly truth. That's how it works on recruitment out there. But for another recruiter that is looking for a front end React developer with 4 years of experience, but you already said that you have 5, then boom, it's gonna be perfect. So do not think that every single recruiter is looking at the same thing. We do value that maybe you have 5 years on React, but as a whole, you have 10 years of experience.
Right.
Because maybe you started as a backend. But,
Yeah, we have seen a lot
a
of cases
lot
like
of
this.
cases.
Yeah. Usually, what they say is like partners. What they look is like on overall years of experience. So sometimes they say we are looking for an engineer that has, I don't know, 7-8 years of experience in overall. But if right now we're looking for someone in a specific tech stack, for instance, I don't know, a front end, then we need to look for the front end experience you're having on your resume. But I mean, everything is valuable. I mean, from where you started to where you are is valuable because it's years of experience.
Mhm.
So don't feel like you're getting rejected because I have just a bit of things. No, because you're a sum of things. So you don't need to worry about it.
That was poetic, Husky. Something that you could also implement here is, what role are you looking forward to move next, or what area would you like to specialize in? So because you seem to have like a plethora of experience, you have worked as a front end, full stack, mobile, database, and all. So it's a matter of what you prefer at this point in your life, so that you can cater your CV or your profile, towards that specific role so that it can stand out amongst all of your different experiences.
Hope
So
that
true.
answered a little bit the question, or
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
And just to
So
follow up that question, Jose is asking if XT recruiters value more net experience in one tool or general programmer experience. I would say it really depends on the role requirements, but
that's correct. That's actually what I just mentioned before. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, you have different, some of different experiences. But if you're looking for a specific role, then that's what we're gonna look for in your resume. So that's what I would say. I don't know if maybe you have something
Yeah.
else to add there, but I think we all agree in if it's the whole experience you have in one specific thing you were doing, and if you're looking for, like I said, if you're looking for someone that does lemonade, you're not looking for the guy that is doing lemonade, for 2 years, because this guy knows how to make lemonade. And maybe you have done some other things. I don't know, in terms of, it's a food example. I don't know if you're hungry,
I
but
just love this. It's like,
it's like you're looking for one specific thing over there, and that's where we're looking. We value the whole experience.
and also
so
to add, depending on the role, because if a company is looking for a lead, and this is where your vast experience in different roles can actually help. And if you already have as a leading experience in managing teams, and you are a team lead, this also can help you. And there won't be that much of specific stack and years for it, whether of how you manage the team and how you were as a team lead. So it's really, and also, as Gabs mentioned, depending on your track, because if you want to be an architect and you want to grow and become more and more experienced in one thing, obviously then you have to decide which path to take. And the more kind of general experience as a developer you have, it's less helpful in the long run to be something more
Correct.
specific. So yeah, it really depends on what you want. If you're really loving to working with backend, why then you take the front end role? You know what I mean?
That's
as
cool.
Jyoti will say, follow your heart and create a
Just
CV that makes whatever that is you're looking for shine the most. Um,
so true.
So Gaps, you have kudos there. So
You have a fan.
a fan.
I appreciate it's an honor to receive such comments. In all honesty, thank you, Jetson.
Okay,
Okay.
we have another
Let's
resume,
go
and
with Eduardo Gonzalez. So let me scroll
Talking
down.
about years of experience.
There you go. That's true. That's very helpful, actually. Maybe try to
Yeah.
summarize how many years of experience you have in a specific tech stack. Actually, that helps a lot as well. And anyways, we need to take a look also to what you were doing in your role, but that actually is really good to summarize how many years of experience you have on that one. So let's see. Also, just to highlight that too, it's always good to mention the technologies you were using on the role. That's very good, Eduardo, that you're showing the technologies. It's always good. Try to mimic what you can do on LinkedIn, that you can put below your role, the details of your role, the tech stacks or the technologies you were using on that specific role. So I see how you're doing in your resume. That is always really good to show that.
He's hacking the system.
Cool. So I'm going again with the same exercise. I'm going to give my point of view, and then you can share other
Sure.
thoughts if you want to. So I see that in this case, let's start with the first one. I see that you're showing you're doing. I'm assuming it's an ATS for recruitment,
Mhm.
so that's good. But in this case, I would say just try to mention maybe more kind of not everything in detail, but at least some more specifics on what you were doing on that one, because that will show what you were doing into the project itself. Because you're working with a team, and so in this case, the team, you will be part of the team. So in that case, you were having some specific tasks to complete that project. So in this case, just try to mention what were your key roles on that one. It's maybe a personal opinion on this one, but the rest I feel that is good. I don't know, Jody.
Sometimes it's also good, just to echo what Oski said, to understand that we want to see, or it's really nice to see the daily duties, just as Oski said, the hard work that you were doing for real, the hands-on experience, the hands-on work that you did, and maybe highlight some kind of accomplishments that you got
Yeah.
on the project. Maybe you were aiming to reduce the time that a specific application was taken. Boom, put it there. Accomplishments are beautiful to see.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Because that's a very good question. When we as recruiters are taking a call, the first call with you, we always like to get to know you. How was your, I don't know, behaviors, like on the things,
Performance?
Proud.
your accomplishment, your what are you already proud? So
Those things that makes you proud
Well, the
of,
thing
of
is
the
that-
things that you did on those projects.
and the question is why. So why for me is because you will tell me about how you were working with the technologies you were using, because for me it's really valuable, because that's something I know, and you're handling the subject, like, okay, so I was working using, I don't know, Redux, I was doing this and that. So for me it's very valuable because you know about the matter you're talking about and the key role you were having into the project. So it's always good to share your accomplishments. That's also a really good thing. So to add on your resume and your experience. Gaps.
I can just echo what you said. It's what I meant with the comment I made, that be honest about what you did or your involvement in the project, because it's always nice, of course, to add more, highlights to our experiences. But realistically, when we go to an interview or even a technical conversation, you'll have to explain yourself. So it's always great to highlight those accomplishments that you can call your own, or that perhaps were part of your team, but you contributed to it. Um, just just be honest, it is still impressive. The hard work and effort never goes unnoticed. So yeah, and something that I wanted to comment on the positive side of this is I love the structure and distribution, because you let us know that the product was ATS, the focus was maintenance of ATS and new features, and then you give us like a deconstruction of perhaps your tasks there. That is always good, and it prompts us to or it helps us to better prepare for the first interview. So
That's
awesome.
true. Thank you, Eduardo, for sharing your resume. That's something really valuable, and I hope that all the tips and maybe and all the people is joining this
But he did a
streaming.
nice job.
Yeah, he actually
That's a good profile.
that's a good profile. Yeah, so to everyone, just try to get what you feel is going to help you to improve your profile, and also the tips we're giving you. So thank you, Eduardo, again for sharing. I don't know, Vania, you have something else to add there?
I
Awesome.
do.
And I just want to say, Eduardo, if you feel like it, you can always apply for S team.
Go to where's our link, Anya? xteam.com. You can find it for developers, and there you can see our job board. But don't worry, Anya will provide us with the link later on, because that will be excellent to create your XP profile, which allows us to have more visibility. So when there's a new opening that might be of your interest, we can definitely have a look at your CV properly.
And a side note, now you know that when you apply to our in our database, actually you can create profile by just submitting your LinkedIn profile, and the information will be taken from there. So, it's really important that it is in English. So, unfortunately, if you want to work in the international environment, you need your profile in English, and that it has more information, not just I worked there. And that's it. because
And
eh,
that's on design thinking and user experience. You don't have to fill out a format, then submit your CV or your LinkedIn
again,
on PDF format. It does it automatically for you. So just make sure that it's as complete as possible, so that we can have better traceability of your experience, expertise, and skill set. So
yeah,
yeah.
So you can take from your resume or from your LinkedIn. So the better and the more information you have, more information will be in our system and faster you can get a job in Xteam. And here's the link. It's jobs.xteam.com without the dash. I don't know why the dash appeared.
Take a look. We have interesting roles there. So
Yeah.
if you feel you have what you need, don't hesitate and apply.
And there was a question for you guys. If there's a template to use, do you think there's a need for a template?
I was gonna comment on that a little bit. You can also take the tips that we're sharing here and see that it's like the best practices that you're seeing on the CVs that we are currently reviewing, and try to mimic or emulate that on your CV. Something that I learned as well because of my past experiences is that they're like templates that are pretty popular in the tech industry, and you can find them easily online. And usually, the most common CV that is used worldwide is the Harvard format, pretty much, which is for the people like me who are very visual. Very visual. It's it's unfortunate because it's just like a blank page with all of the pertinent information. There's no much creativity to it, but it's efficient and it gets the point across. So you can find that there. And also, I think that some people that are well known or work for, like Google, they have shared their CV, so you can always take a look and see what you can take out of it. So
Yeah.
that is like just to share.
I would agree that there's no like standard thing. But yes, from my heart, from the bottom of my heart, please don't add this really common phrase that we still can see looking for an opportunity to. In the summary or somewhere else, information is not needed. Summary is about you,
It's
and
about you.
yeah, it's all about you.
Who are
It should
you?
be short. It should be short. It should be like straight to the point, highlighting your achievements and highlighting the desired press that you want to make. It's like, okay, you applied for a Golang developer, and this is where I look in the summary and where I'll see that you're a Golang developer with 5 years of experience. Great. You applied to the correct job. I know that you have the experience. I'll look. I'll continue to look for the other information in your CV. But if it's like right away something is off in summary or really long, or this I'm looking for an opportunity, it doesn't say anything for me. It's like I just skim it and skip it.
I was gonna add something there, because we're talking about CVs, but now in this world and era, LinkedIn is pretty important. And in some cases, your CV is what you hand out to people. That's why it's like your business card, like, like, hey, I'm Gabs, here's my CV. But your LinkedIn, it's also, well, LinkedIn is social media, professionally so, but it's a great point of contact. So if I'm a recruiter, which I am, I don't know why I'm talking in the third person. So let's see. If I'm going through LinkedIn and suddenly I see somebody that happens to have like the job title for the role that I'm looking for, I'll be more inclined to click on that and look at your LinkedIn. So it's always important to keep them up to date. Sometimes your LinkedIn could be even the one that it's easier for you to update with frequency. So yeah, keep an eye on both, and remember, your CV is what you hand out, or you can also add it on LinkedIn, and your LinkedIn is what we all can see. Stalkering much.
That's true. That's true. So okay, so we have the next candidate over here. Let's see. Let's take a look. Well, the summary is actually what we're talking about, Gaps, about the summary, and actually what Anya was mentioning. That's something that it shows what you were doing. It shows about your DevOps experience, so that's something really cool as well.
My question: do you need a photo on the resume?
No.
No, there's no need nowadays. I mean, there's no. I mean, what? Why to judge someone from that picture? I mean, that's my point of
You
view.
don't.
Like,
You don't. There's a saying that you don't judge a
the book by the cover. Yeah, that's true.
And so yeah, it's better to simply remove the picture. Um, Here I am a little bit confused because we have summary on the right, but there's also kind of a summary on the left. I don't know
Mhm.
if you agree, but I'm a little bit
I'm
confused.
trying to think that I don't know if that's the current experience as he's
It
working
doesn't seem
or.
so because look at
Oh yeah, so that's the summary he's showing over there.
correct. So
So
I think that it has to be either one
or the summary or the other one you have.
or the other summary that doesn't say as a summary,
Yes,
but it looks like a summary. So that's why I'm confused.
kind of confusing. Yeah, that's
Honestly, I would just keep one of them.
hmm
As simple as that.
that's true. Maybe that I will use that space that you have on the left to show the tech stacks or the technical skills you're showing
Yeah,
below the summary.
because
It will put it. I
so
will put it.
long.
Actually, if you think about it, if we go with the same thing that the first thing that we said about the picture, honestly, I would just remove the left side
Oh yeah,
and
or
everything will be much better organized.
Actually, that is also something that I learned. Um, it's better to have like a single column when it comes to CVs, not because of the recruiter's preference, but also ATS.
Yes.
ATS have a much they usually scan through your CV, and when there's two columns, it's not as efficient as when there's just one. So
Yeah.
if you want to
while
improve
parsing.
your sorry.
No, I mean, well, the ATS is parsing the resume
Oh yeah.
to have it there. Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Really good point, Gabs. It's true. So
Yes.
honestly, from this one, I so far about tech skills and summary, I think that what's the name of this guy? Everton, you did a great job. But honestly, I think that the left side could be removed. You decide which summary you keep, if the one on the right or on the left. But let's just keep one column and also remove the picture. There's no need to have it there. Let's scroll down and let's take a look at the professional expertise.
So that's something very interesting. One of the things I always like to mention on this when because in the past I used to have this kind of descriptions of things, but I will put this into bullet points
Mhm.
because I mean you highlight more
Mhm.
things. It's easier for the recruiter to take a look to tasks you were doing.
Separate the ideas.
Yes.
Separate the ideas is it's much better than just one paragraph that can be a little bit confusing, a little bit even too overwhelming for the eye, believe it or not. If you separate and make it concise in bullet points, it gives a better sense of organization within the process.
That's correct.
Yes.
So that's what I see there. I don't know, Gaps, if you would like to.
Understand?
No, I totally agree. I mean, especially with something that Jyoti commented before on how many seconds a recruiter usually takes on a
That's
CV.
true.
This is very taxing to the eyes. So if you have looked through, I don't know how many CVs, looking at this, yeah, it will be a little bit taxing. So to improve your chances,
I would also add that uh, that would be like from a general CV point of view, not only from a technical. Usually you say worked or managed, not I was or I did, I worked or in this position because you already stated the position. So it's like overabundance of words that are not needed there. In this position, I worked. We already know that that was your position. This is where you just describe what you did, your achievements. And I know sometimes we want to talk everything about the job that we did, especially if we loved it. But it's better to have three bullet points that are straight to the point than this huge amount of text that unfortunately most of the recruiters will skim and not even look at.
And
And
also adding the recruiter and yeah, maybe to the partner because I mean if we
yeah,
move on with this resume and move on to the partner, then the partner is gonna believe me, they don't have it sounds like awful, but they don't have time to read the whole thing because they're gonna
yeah,
focus on tasks and keywords, and that's basically what obviously, from the X team perspective, since we have technical interviews and everything, they will also take a look to our feedback on the technical perspective as well. But besides that, they're going to take a look to your profile, and they're going to just take a look to your skills, to the tasks you're doing in your position, or I mean, your previous role, the role you're currently in. And it will be easier for them just to say, okay, you know what? I would like to have a call with this guy. So
Yeah.
that's, I mean, thinking from the customer's perspective, that will be something that is very valuable to you guys.
I think the
It's
Everton
not
has.
because, it's not because we're, no, this isn't bad or at all. We're thinking from the client's perspective. It's always good to let you know this kind of tricks that is, they're not hidden, but it's always good to
Yeah.
mention this on when you're
So
creating
for
your.
Everton, I think if you were applying and a lot of spaces use ATS, most probably ATS would just won't go through your resume because it's a little bit confusing. And so I know for sure there are some ATS that they don't read columns at all, like they just discard it as unreadable, and that's why you didn't receive that call. I do have a question for you guys. When you self-evaluate yourself on the resume, here is an example where advanced or intermediate, is it helpful, or how you understand what's
In my case, I will
advanced
look
label?
when he's. I'm assuming. I'm assuming everything, but I'm assuming when you say advanced, I'm assuming is that you are having more than 5 years experience on that specific tech stack. That's
But
my
this
first
is
thought.
where, like, this is where I'm saying
That's
it's a
what
little bit.
misleading. It's misleading because I mean
Yeah.
maybe advanced is, I don't know. I mean I don't know what advanced is for Everton, but for me, I would rather to have like maybe you tell me
A number.
a number. Yeah, like
Years.
5,
Yeah,
6,
yeah,
7, 8, 10, you name it.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
easy for us to say, okay, you know what, this guy has been working with this a lot of time, so it's
Yeah,
better
what-
for us to do the filter.
What we said before, try to avoid general concepts and try to make it specific. Numbers never lie. There's no confusions on numbers. If you tell me you have 3 years, three working years with Java, boom, that's enough for a recruiter.
That's correct, and I think what Kevin just did the question, like should the tech skill be separated by prophecy of years? I think that's actually really helpful, Kevin, because what we saw on the previous resume that was shared here, he had like separated of the tech stacks how many years experience. As a matter of fact, this is very helpful to us because we can do the filter, and it's like on those 20 seconds we're talking about that we take the time to read the CV. It's like very important. Okay, yeah. So because why? It's funny because the partners, they're gonna say into the descriptions, we're looking for someone that has X years of experience with Golang. So then when we go to your resume and see, okay, this guy has then the exact time we're looking for more than that. Okay, so you know what? This guy, catch me over here.
Yep.
So I want to take a look and read the rest of the information. So it's something really that the word's catchy. So it's catchy. So for me, it's like, okay, we're gonna go there and scroll down and take a look to the rest of the information you have. It's like that. I don't know. It's my view.
I would say Everton. If you analyze what we're saying, the concept, everything, the content that you have is great. It just need a little tweak, and your CV will be perfect. And
That's
this
true.
is for you, Everton, and for anyone that is looking at us right now. Please feel free to reach out directly to us, connect with us on LinkedIn, and if, for example, Everton, if you maybe do the changes on your CV later today, this week, or whenever, and you want us to see or to check the new document that you created,
We can take a look for you.
please send it. Please connect with us. Send it there, and we will review it. And
Maybe there's an open position to you. You can apply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Exim
Yeah.
has a positions opened. So it's good to take a look to that.
So meanwhile, we were looking at Everton's resume. There were several questions, and for example, the first
questions.
one was
Sorry guys, maybe we can take a look to whole questions at the same time, but we're trying to do the review and also take a look to that. So, all right.
Okay, so CV full or resume short, which is the best from a recruiter's point of view for a
Feel like
first
they're pretty much
contact?
like the name, but I think it's the same thing, isn't it?
Technically, it's the
CV and
same,
Yeah,
resume are pretty much the same.
but
Now,
yeah.
I know that there's a fear among a lot of people. Then they think that if they have a resume or CV, however you want to call it, because it's pretty much the same in this industry, they feel like if the document has more than 2 pages, then it's awful. No,
Yes, there's this misconception.
just give us all the information about you and let us do our magic. The important is that on the first page, probably where you're going to highlight the first thing, which is the summary and text stack, you automatically catch our attention.
Right.
If you did that, then we will take the time. We will love to see everything that you did, because the more information you give us, the better we can sell you in front of our partners. So you need to help us help you.
That's true.
that is
So just send the full thing, and we will do the magic usually. And this is something that Xteam does, and a lot of companies does as well. They do as well, which is taking the original file and then put it, depending on the role and the partner, we try to rework it a little bit. So let us do our magic, but just give us all the information that you can.
The important note is relevant information. Oh, like also not including your whole life story.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And for example, um, I love that part in LinkedIn where you can include all the certificates.
Mhm.
But I would say, from my point of view, not every certificate is important, especially if it's not related to the job. Like, I don't know, you did an Excel class in 10 years ago. I don't think there's a reason for you to mention it, or that you know how to work with
I mean, it can be there, I know,
Word.
but I mean, that's something that maybe we're not looking for at that time. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
looking for, I'm gonna say I'm working into a Scala position right now that I'm currently working, and for me, it's very important that they show that the experience they're having in the Scala on the projects they're working, and also showing the ACA, because that's something I need to have there, that shows on your summary or the things that you mentioned. Like, okay, I've been working with Scala, but I also been working using ACA. So for me, that's very catchy. So yeah, it's that you highlight the things that you were doing in tech stack there.
Yeah, wholeheartedly
True,
agree. Highlight the
true.
things that you want to be seen.
True.
Like that is essentially it. Because sometimes you can have an extensive career, which is it's still impressive. And believe me, like we are going to comment on that, on the fact that you have been working for 15 plus years. But if you're interested, and I think that this is going to answer one of the questions here, like the what happens if you have changed careers. Okay, so if you change careers or if you change from backend to full stack, make sure that you're highlighting those experiences. So in the case of you changing careers, you can still leave experience from the past on your LinkedIn perhaps, but on your CV, what you want to showcase is the actual experience related to the role that you're looking for. I always try also to make a connection between your previous experience or your previous profession and what you're doing right now. How do you feel that it helped you? But like on your CV, you can just showcase, put it in bold, highlight it, the experience that you're currently working on.
Since you mentioned that, actually, there was a question asking about if the person is in the process of changing, only starting in software development, how that person can showcase and enter that IT world.
That's something that I think we have discussed, like in other lives. Let's say, for example, that you're just starting out, or you want your breakthrough moment, you want that first opportunity, because you are essentially changing careers. Something that you could do is, if you took courses, highlight the projects, what you did with what you worked. If you participate in I don't know, charity or you do some volunteering, whether it is that you teach kids to code, or you are part of open source projects, or you're part of a community and you help out others, those are, you can always write that and highlight what you do that is showcasing the skills that are attached to an entry level position perhaps, or a junior position. So that's where you can take advantage of your pet projects or your side, like the projects that you completed throughout your academic formation, whether it's online or at a university, or include volunteering, communities, at all, just to put out there that, oh, I have studied Python, but I have also used it on this specifically. But also be fair. If you're changing careers, that means starting over. So be fair, because it also helps you to set the right expectations for yourself, and it can open different opportunities as well.
Oh, so true. Please, please, please don't lie about having 5 years of experience where
Oh yeah, that's very
you
important. Don't
you never
lie.
worked with that. Yes, please.
Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't lie. That's. I at the end when you're joining, if you're joining the project, you will. I mean, that's something that is gonna show. I mean, if you don't know about the topic, that's the reason why here at X Team we have this little process during the selection process. We have technical interview, so you can be evaluated on the tech stacks that that we're looking for this role. Okay, I think we have
Okay.
Jose. I think he did a question initially, right? No.
I think so.
Yeah, I think he did. So
Yeah, it did.
Again, photo, no
no
need.
need. Yeah. Photo, no need. I like about the skills. It's also really good. I mean, I know it's not into the same block, like we said, but it's easy to read. That's what I'm thinking. So, but something I will say, don't put like the bar. The bar for me is, I'm sure it's not gonna sound rude, but it's for me it's kind of meaningless because it could be like you have 3 years of Node, but I mean, what's
It's very subjective, and that's the problem.
That's
It's
true.
very
Yeah.
So just
yeah.
put the
Same with the
we have
advanced
mentioned before,
intermediate.
just put the years of experience you have on that tech stack. That will be perfect. In terms of your employment history of there, the job description, I think that's what we have mentioned before. That's a very short description, Jose. I feel that you need to, like we have been mentioning on previous resumes that we have seen, try to mention bullet points of the tasks you were doing on that specific role that you were having, because like we said, you were part of a team and you were doing some tasks, so that's very important to show and highlight. And yeah, try to add at least like maybe 4 bullet points that will be helpful. So yeah,
Yeah,
the
no, 100%. It's just, Jose, take a little bit of time to add a little bit more information. Again, remember what we said, the structure, the ideal structure of your duties, the impact that you had on the project, and if there's any accomplishment that you want or can highlight, do it.
correct.
So I know that on all these jobs that you had with more than 1 year working on those projects, I know that you can get maybe at minimum 3 or 4 bullet points that will give us a lot of information, valuable information. So,
I think Jose went for this advice to have only one page. And this is, yes, because it's only one, and this is where it's like
See?
really short. It's not enough information. So, and obviously from the eye point of view, yes, it looks pretty common to read the skills on the side, but as we mentioned, it not everywhere the resume goes directly to an eye of a human eye recruiter. It may pass through ATS, and if ATS cannot read it, like for example, ATS won't read the bars. It's like it doesn't. You
True.
wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
understand what is that about. It will be scanning like Okay, so applied for backend Node. Okay, you have several like tools or tech stack that you mentioned. There's a lot of Node in it. This is really cool, but this division, it may impact the possibility for this resume to get to an eye of the recruiter. And when it will get there, the information there is so small. So it really will depend if Jyoti decides, you know what, I will still contact the guy to know more about it. Or Oski will say, you know what, it's not enough. I'll move forward to another 50 resumes that I have that are
True.
more specific and more explicit. That so you're like risking of losing that perfect opportunity for yourself just because you need a little bit more enhancement. But the styling, I would think it's great. It's just adding more and removing the photo.
Remove
You
the
don't need
photo
the
and
photo.
just make sure the skills. Try to add years of experience
Yeah.
on that one. That will be
Yes.
perfect. Believe this.
Yes.
Believe me. That will be perfect.
So true. So true. Okay. Um, there's more questions and uh, about the experience. I know that we talked a lot, but do you think that the experience that people do, like for example, in open source or personal project, does it count, or we're only talking about the professional experience?
From my perspective, experience is experience.
True.
So you need to highlight it. I actually also remember that one of the first questions that we had was related also to GitHub. To that person, I would suggest you to add the projects, but on maybe down the work experience, but on the top of your resume, aside next to the LinkedIn profile, put your GitHub profile. We love to see that. We love if someone is active on GitHub. We will take a look at a little bit on the projects, how often they do it. We have a lot of tools that can do some kind of X-ray on your GitHub profile and give us even an exact percentage of how much you use specific technologies.
True.
And we will say like, the tool is telling me that this person uses 73% on Golang. Maybe the person knows a little bit about Golang. I'm curious about it. So experience is experience no matter what type of it. So keep that in mind and be proud of it. A lot of people feels like, no, I don't think they're gonna value that. If they do not value that, maybe that's not the best uh, project or company that you want to work for, because your time and your experience values.
That
I would like to add, like, especially if you're changing something. Let's say you've been working with Java for a long time, but now you want to move to Golang,
Right.
or like those personal projects that uh, you participate in open source somewhere that can help you to showcase that you're a strong software engineer and you really now want to work with Golang. So that can also like showcase that you're not just saying, yeah, let me first of all learn it, hire me, and I will learn it, and then I will start working with it. No, we already know that you have 1 year of experience working on personal projects with Golang. So now maybe this opportunity is for you, where they're looking for Java and Golang or just Golang, but you can open the door with your personal projects. So never miss out on that.
something.
Interesting to see your opinions on that resume. I'm
Oh,
sorry, guys.
I
You're
was just
about
gonna
to.
say on the GitHub. Sometimes when we're looking at profiles and we're looking for a something very specific, and it's not on your LinkedIn, your GitHub can be your savior. Like that has happened that we find interesting
True.
experience or projects there. That's like, oh yeah, we can definitely contact. And in some cases, there's perhaps roles that allow for more flexibility, and what they're looking for is not necessarily practical experience or professional experience, but knowledge on something, especially with emerging technologies or technologies that are taking place on the market. So it's always good to have that. And about the pet projects, what I was gonna say is that something that it also tells us as recruiter is that you are continuously learning, because for example, if it is like a pet project on a different technology from your tech stack, it denotes that you are adaptable as well, but you are also very curious to continuously learn about something new. So
That's correct. Okay, so
Sergio.
Sergio. So that's something really good on the summary over there. And actually, what we mentioned at the beginning of one of the first resumes we took a look was saying like emphasize on which like route you want to go. So you're a full stack, so you are going full stack, and you're saying you like full stack. So that's something you're highlighting there. So that's something really cool. You're showing that. So it's something really cool. Also, you're mentioning about your experiences working with JavaScript, Vue, React. So it's something also is really helpful to us. So it's something that helps a lot. So yeah, that's as well. I see that on the experience, I see the bullet points. That's something really cool. Um, I think yeah, maybe try to the tech stack is there as well, so that's something fantastic. They're showing the tech stack you were using on that role. Maybe just try to add a little bit more on the things you were doing, because yeah, you built the new website, but what else you were doing there? I mean, how was your approach using the tech stack that you were doing? So that's my thought there, Jody.
I think it's lacking like a position. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
like experience
absolutely.
the name, but the
Yeah,
position.
that's the company, but what you were doing there? I'm assuming also it was a software engineer or full stack engineer. That's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have two suggestions. The first one, to specify the type of role that you had on each, not just to think that unless you were a full stack developer on all of them.
That's valid. That could happen.
That can happen, but
Yeah.
I would say still put it there.
Yeah, that's true.
Start doc. Below that, full stack developer, full stack JavaScript developer, whatever. But it's good to have it there. And there is something, and that this is really my personal perspective. I don't know what Gabs or Oski or Anna can think, but in the summary, I always try to avoid using this kind of buzzwords that do not actually give real value to the summary. What does it mean? For example, summaries where you say, "I'm a friendly person. I'm teamwork. I don't know. I love nature." No, just give us a little bit more specifics, because those soft skills are on the summary, they are not relevant, and for recruiters they are just, I mean, we won't use that.
Great
there's no,
conversation starter.
there's no Actually, think about it, there's no way that we can believe you just by you saying that over there. You will have to prove that later on the
Call.
project or on the call with us. So try to remove that, and instead given more valuable information about you. Let me share something. For example, that I do. If you go to my LinkedIn and you go on the about section, you will see that I have a lot of bullet points, but one of them, and I just took one little line to say something about me, because the summary or the about, depending on how you summary on resume, about on LinkedIn profile, it's about you as a professional, but you can also use it really quick about you as a person. About you as a person can also give us kind of an icebreaker to get to know you a little bit already. And if we decide to engage with you on a call, for example, when the CEO of X Team reached out to me, and I know that he read my about, because on the last bullet point that I have, I say that I'm a little bit of a fan of Dragon Ball, and I put it a dragon emoji over there, and that's how he reached out to me. and it
Love
took
that.
just one little line. So instead of using those words that are kind of meaningless somehow, just give something meaningful about you, either as a professional or as a person.
Cap.
Man,
I
interesting thought, man.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
And
right. That's right. You're
that's
right.
why I said it's very personal. It's my
That's
personal
touch.
yeah, it's my personal approach.
But I would agree. I would agree, and I also just to mention that this type of resume, and especially those that you're like sending officially, that should be like strictly professional. And LinkedIn, this is where you
Yeah,
can
I
sprinkle
would
a
say
little
that.
bit,
Yes,
but more about
Yes,
yourself. It's like if you love dogs, I would it would be more
yes. I was
interesting to
going.
read I love dogs.
yes.
And this is where I was mentioning my goal is to be a part of a professionals who are passionate about, like, this is just a one full line of a filler that doesn't give me any
That's
information
true.
at
I was
all.
going to that way, Anya, because in the history of resumes and applications, things have evolved a little
Yeah,
bit now. So now, since
true.
we're in a social network like LinkedIn, it's like you look for common interest or something you feel as a cultural part of the
Mhm.
organization that maybe I don't know, maybe you'll say over there, I like rock and roll
Sailor
or
Moon.
whatever, or
I like
or maybe
Sailor
you have
Moon.
something there. I mean,
Pokemon.
it's catchy as well because I mean that's something
Pokemon.
cool. Like this guy likes this kind of music or
Yeah,
food, and
That
it's something
also
that you like.
that also
So
talks about your type
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah,
culture.
yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. That's true. That's
that
true.
is that is why we do social engineering when we go through the LinkedIn profiles. But I agree wholeheartedly with the CV. Perhaps keep it as your business card, and on LinkedIn you have a little bit more flexibility, so you can let a little bit of the fun
Yeah.
side come out. I always love to see that on LinkedIn when they share a little bit about themselves. Actually, I did notice something from Saitama Sensei, and that's how he got his nickname from me. So yeah, on LinkedIn you have a little bit more flexibility to be yourself and present yourself not only on the professional side but also on the interest that you feel they somehow depict something of your personality or something of your mindset. That is always great to have like a conversation starter with people as well during the calls. So
That's true.
And well, last resume for today. Let me just we have a bunch of
actually we have
them.
a bunch more.
So
I wanted to address that, so unfortunately guys we
We
won't
thank
be
you
able
for
to.
sharing those resumes. I will appreciate
Yeah.
it. And just try to connect with us, either
what
with X Team or any of us into our LinkedIn's, because we are posting like very often new opportunities, whether
Yeah.
for what they're looking for, or maybe for somebody else that needs some assistance, that is looking for someone or some company, whatever. We're showing that. So
Yeah, for the people that we were not able to review your resumes today, I'll make sure that we can reply to you over email with those little bullet points that can make you change or enhance your profile way more. So believe me, we will do it so you have it covered.
May I say something in regards to what Oski mentioned? Um, approach people on like approach recruiters on LinkedIn. I have had connections that they have presented or introduced themselves to me, and they had asked just tips about how they could improve their profiles and their CVs, or what is it that they could do to continuously learn, or I don't know how they could stand out even further. And those are great connections, and there's no pressure just because you're reaching out to a recruiter. There's no pressure that, oh, I'm gonna be called into an interview. No, we recruiters, we always have communication. Like, communication is key in those interactions, so it's a space for you to feel comfortable. But also, if you have a question and we happen to be there on LinkedIn, um, you can get great tips, and even you already made like a connection that perhaps in the future when you're looking for an opportunity you can always reach back just like a friend, or in a friendly manner. and it's always exciting to see the people that we get to meet throughout different journeys. So don't be afraid of that.
So true. But I would love to add that please don't add more work for a recruiter when you write, "Hey, I'm looking for a job."
Yeah.
Like if you want your resume to be checked, your profile, please hey ask, and I think every recruiter in our XT will help you to do so. If you applied for a job, just give like a quick tip. Hey, I applied for a Scala role. I have this much of experience working with Scala. If you're like have a time, please look at my
True.
LinkedIn profile, and I bet that Oski will look for it,
Wow.
but not just like um, I'm here and a recruiter has to guess.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
and that is
So,
fun.
and also just to add, and I think we're all human, and sometimes if a recruiter didn't answer you right away, I bet they receive a lot of messages through LinkedIn, and sometimes they can skip one. Happened to me. It can happen to anyone, or it just takes a little bit more time to evaluate. For example, maybe the role that you applied is already closed, and that could happen. So don't afraid to write recruiters, but don't expect the 5 minute answer right
That's
away, and don't add the job to them. It be more helpful if what you're looking for, or just be honest, like I'm actually not quite sure if my English is up to the level, and if you have a time, I have 3 years of experience in this area. I know that there's not an open role there for me right now, but maybe we can do one-on-one for just like check my perspective with X team. And I think if a recruiter is up for it and have time, they will also say yes. So just be specific.
true. That's totally
Yeah.
true.
Okay, last resume for today in dark
Oh,
mode.
I
dark.
mean,
Oh,
my
that's the
eyes
first
love
one.
it
First
in
one's
terms
the
of
dark.
Nice touch.
like my eyes love it in the sense that everything on like on my computer is on dark mode, but that is just a personal preference. It can be taxing to other people that they do work on light mode. So
Let's
Let's see. Let's see.
It depends. I'm not quite sure again for the ATS. Like this is my
yeah.
only if the if the computer won't see this as an image and just one person, I don't know if that affects it.
Oh,
This is an interesting
actually, it
question.
could be the case. But I mean, I was gonna say because also with the fonts and everything. Mm,
If it's an
I
image,
love to see the GitHub
if it's
there.
an image, the ATS won't take it.
oh,
That's the ugly truth. But yeah, on this one, I mean the skills the listed above are good. I think that we are missing a little bit more details on each work experience, and also, if possible, have a second or different line for the technologies used, just to give a little bit of organization and easy to find those specific technologies that were used on each of the projects. So I will separate those, not just everything in one little paragraph.
That's true.
Oski, that's
I add to what you're saying. I mean, what I well, that's something maybe it's kind of confusing because I see the clients you were working with. I won't show the clients you were working with because I mean you were working specifically with, in this case, Wonderman Thompson. So I would just try to remove the clients and maybe just emphasize on the things actually you were doing as your tasks. Like I'll kind of emphasize with this, but if you were a front end engineer in this case, try to mention what you were doing there. Like I was doing something related to Drupal using JavaScript or whatever you were doing, the tasks you were doing on those, but not saying like, for this client I was doing this, for this client I was doing that. Well, I know that in this case, let me Nation Solana. So I know that what they do. But I mean, yeah, I know that if they're earning $7 billion, I mean, for me, I won't use that information to show this to our partner. You know what I mean? It's for me. It's better just to say what specifically things you were doing with the client. Like what were your tasks there? In this case, just try to. That's my suggestion. Try to remove the clients because we won't use the clients. If maybe you would like to highlight maybe
Mhm.
the type of companies you were working, so maybe that's an oil and gas company or tech company or crypto companies or whatever, just try to highlight those in your summary, maybe if you want to. Like, being working with this kind of companies, so we know that you have been exposed to these kind of companies into the past. But for me, what is more important is what were the things you were doing as a front end engineer. So it's the main thing over there. That's my diagnostics on this one. So
So
yeah.
something that it's more of a question because so we have front end developer, and then we have the name of what I'm assuming the company, and then the dates. The dates encompass overall like the. I am assuming that what's under the role title, it's the different projects that you were a part of. If that's not the case, it could be a little bit confusing if they were to be like different.
Correct.
Yeah, like it will be better also to specify, okay, I worked on this for from this day to this one, because it could be misleading. But it's what Oski was saying now. Like I'm going back, and yes, it's what Oski was saying. It's better to be more specific about what you did and about
That's
dates.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
And
that it also helps. And I don't know, can you scroll up a little bit more, Ania, just to make sure? And remember to, again, I'm going to emphasize this on your skills. Just try to make sure, besides adding your skills, try to make sure how many years of experience you have on those. That's really valuable to us.
I do have a question for you guys. For example, this skill stack is kind of then ending in PHP. Um, for example, if developer haven't worked with PHP for the last 5 years, should that person include it here in the skills or not? Or just be somewhere as an experience at that job, but not like in the skills in the summary?
I would put it. I would put it, but that's the beauty of the either summary or skills, where you can tell to the recruiter or to the world what's the tech stack that you love and that you're currently working on, and the things that you want to keep working on. And previously, you also had exposure or experience with this, and this. That's an
Especially
easy way to highlight both the background, but also your present and the future.
and something there, it's also that something commonly heard during our conversations like different professionals is that at the end of the day, the technologies are just like a tool. So perhaps you're not longer working with PHP, but you're working with another, I don't know, with another one. But at least it gives us like an understanding that you have a different, like a better perspective or more broad expertise on working with backend technologies, for example. So if they somehow add up to that, yeah, add it. But if it were to be the case that you just, I don't know, read about it. Yeah, just be honest. Can you, just because you read a book on it and you haven't put it into practicing like a pet project or something, will you feel confident and comfortable working as a PHP developer? That's where you need to gauge whether or not you would like to put it on your CV or just casually mention during the interview, like, yeah, I've been reading about this.
Yeah, and I will also add, for example, if you work in a company and you know that a lot of times company have different stacks for different projects and something, and let's say you worked with Java, but company also worked with Node, but you never touched it, don't mention it in your tech skills in the job experience because this confuses and you one will assume that you also worked with Node.
Right.
And then in the interview, when you answer questions and then you realized, no, I never touched any project with Node, I only worked with Java, that information was misleading. So if you, in the description of your experience, maybe you have experience with Node, but specifically for this part of the project, you never touched that stack, but that's the company stack. Don't mention the company stack. You have to mention what
Work,
you
yeah,
were working on. Even if it was just two, mention
right,
those two, not the
right.
whole bunch
I think
of of tag that
it was Bruce Lee
yeah.
who said that. Was it him, like the person who mastered just like one type of cake or something, but he mastered that one? Sometimes it's better to focus on what you have mastered than on all of the plethora of different like cool keywords that you have collected because of your curious nature. It's pretty much what we've been
So
saying.
true.
Follow your heart. What is it that you're looking for? Try to highlight that, and try to craft your CV in a way that denotes and showcases that, so that recruiters know and understand what is it that you're looking for, essentially.
So true. Sometimes less is better. So don't worry that your tech skill doesn't look like a whole one pager.
And
That's
as
true.
Aski said, if life gives you lemons, make some lemonade.
That's true. That's true. Let's start it again.
So, just to recap, you can all search for our wonderful recruiters on LinkedIn. First, Gabs Vega. Here's her link on LinkedIn. And as we promised, the resumes that you sent that we didn't have a chance to look through, you'll have your small bullet points of where you can change. But hopefully, looking the live today, you were writing, you were making notes, you were using this information, and just see how sometimes small things can impact your possibility to get that job. So use
And
that. Don't
I was
yeah.
gonna say, and if you're interested in joining X Team, then go to our handy dandy little link here.
Jobs,
And
Yes.
nextteam.com, apply. I don't know. It's
yeah,
somewhere there, something.
and
Actually, I would say those resumes that we looked through, I would say all of them looked good through the professional's point of view. They just need to be enhanced or added something or something to be changed, like removing photos, something like that. And apply important information. If you don't see the job that you or role that fits you now, you can leave your profile in our system and you'll be there already. How do you say that in La Tombola? You'll be
Yeah.
there in to be looked at. And when the role comes up for your tech, you also can receive an email notificating, hey, actually, there's a job appear in the next team that your skills could be applied to. Or even recruiter, hey, I found your resume in our profile, in our system, and you can find that magical email, for example, from Gabs saying, I want to schedule an interview with you. So all of you guys, please apply. Don't worry about it. And obviously, I have to mention Oski and his LinkedIn. Look for him, Oscar
It's over
Buson.
there. It's over
Uh,
there. It's over
down.
there.
Yeah.
now you danced.
I think I think a lot of people love this live, and if our wonderful recruiters agree to make another one, and we can also make them do challenges since they're all
Oh
together.
yeah, challenges
Well,
down
that's
there.
if we get like 1,000 likes for this one, we'll do another session with with live challenges. I will sure for that. So yeah,
Oh wow, you heard Oski, so I would love to see that happening. Let's go
I mean
like.
we're talking about 1,000 likes,
like,
1,000, like
repost,
just
like.
repost like 100 reposts and 100 and 1,000 1,000 likes, and we'll make sure that we'll schedule another session with live challenges. Something could happen. I mean, big surprises. I don't know. Maybe
And
new X Team prices. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
that could happen. Our wonderful and amazing
Oh
merch
yes,
can be
nice merch,
won.
merch, merch.
So
Merch.
Show this one is a really fancy one, so I don't know if it's still there. It's a in there, so you see, we have.
No, yeah, that was from the
And this
Panda
is not
House.
sponsored.
I mean, no, the
Yeah,
caps, the
we have a
hats,
really
the
The
mug,
vibes.
fives,
nice.
and obviously VP Sensei, the best of the best that we have, Jonathan Joti Ortiz. You can look him up on LinkedIn,
It's
and I
here,
think,
He's right there.
there,
Right there.
right there.
But yeah, just
and now synchronize.
but yeah, try
It's
connect with
here.
us, and anything that you guys might need after this call, after this live, please reach out, and I'll make sure that we can talk, that we can help you, and see what we can do for you.
And there was a question if you can watch later. Yes, of course. The live will be recorded and it will be present in our YouTube channel, which is X Team
Also here at
in the
LinkedIn.
YouTube, and also in
Yeah.
LinkedIn. And also in LinkedIn. Yes, and also in LinkedIn. So no worries, you won't miss a thing. You can just literally go there, pause, and write down what you want needed to change or add. So there's
And
that.
like you heard Oski, so you can watch it later. You can like as much as you like, so don't miss the chance.
Repost it. So
Repost it so
everyone
everyone
can,
is able to take a look to it. Like I said,
Oh,
1,000 likes and maybe 500 reposts. Then we'll do our best. We'll do our best to make those life challenges here for the next.
Okay, so to make it real,
it's getting real.
let's say 20 reposts.
More than that. 20
Like
reposts.
we
A
Then.
want
little
this.
bit
We
more.
want this.
We're challenging
50
them.
reposts, 50 reposts then, yeah.
We're challenging them.
50,
We believe
okay.
in them. We believe in you, people. So go on ahead, like, repost, share, send it to your friends. Yeah, and share the love, spread the love.
That's true. So thank you again, guys. It was
Well-
a fantastic session. We enjoy having you here. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. It's not
I don't
working.
know. Maybe.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
So,
much
there you have
love,
that.
much love
And,
from our recruit.
and thank you for joining. Fantastic session, fantastic questions. Thank you for sharing your CVs. For the one that shared your CVs, we had a fantastic exercise over here. We did our best. So and this is for you guys, so you can have a better resume, so you can show it. If it is for X team, for companies that will help you. So yeah, I don't know, Joti, just to add.
Yeah, we are here to help you shine. So let us help you, and yeah, just hope to see you around the next team.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you for those who joined. And I think we all enjoyed. And I will look on my resume just to check if everything is in place. And comment, repost, love, share love, because this is where we can manage to have them again on the next live and have fun with it. So have a good night. Love for you all.